Hello and welcome to another journal in the 31 art journals, and here is a very special art journal. I came across a mixed media artist called Mika Diaz from Motley Soul, and started doing some of her watching some of her videos and stuff, and then she did this it was 31 days of prayer, in like a prayer journal. And basically what she would do is for each day she would put a Bible verse, and then we would create a journal page for what it meant for us. And so I'd found this in my local supermarket. It was I never knew them to do kind of journals before, but they did this. I loved the feel, and I actually do love the size. Let me see how what this one measures. So it was so 8 by 5.5. But I liked the size, and I liked it was like faux leather, so this is not leather. I wasn't inclined, again, it was the beginning stages of me doing art journaling, so I wasn't inclined at the time to cover it or paint on it, because I actually liked the way it was. And so all I did was pray until something happens. So let's kind of delve into this. So so this is dated back to 2011, so it's like 6 years old, and it says, so I've said, this book reminds me of a moleskin. I really wanted a moleskin. Everyone has one apart from me, but now I have one that looks like a moleskin, and that's fine. I'll be doing mini sketches every day. I might even be doing an... So basically I was saying I might do it every day if I can. The paper is quite thick, it's lovely, and it takes paint very well. And I'll add some narrative. So before the course I must have been working in this, and I just, again, so like in a lot of my journals, started to just get used to this particular journal. So it had squares. I don't know whether you can pick that up. It had squares on each of the page, but that was okay with me, and that kind of added something to it. And basically I wanted to kind of talk about how I was feeling, what I was going through, put it down on a journal page, and also write something about it, but do it in a different way. Here I've said, I've always wanted to live in a castle with a moat and lots of fish. Perhaps my childhood dream could become a reality. Sometimes I listen out for the hooves of the galloping stallion carrying the prince who will take me away from all this into the sunset. I don't really think it's of much to ask. I'm not asking to be rescued. Perhaps I'm the one who'll be doing the rescuing. So this was kind of looking at the happy ever after kind of image that we sometimes have as young girls. I mean, I used to read all those romance novels and things like that, and you had this kind of idea that, you know, when you grew up, or before you knew that, when you were growing up, that you would be rescued. Well, I did anyway. And you go through your kind of, you don't go through your life thinking, but this is a fantasy that you think that you're going to be rescued without thinking about, well, I can, you know, I go out to work, I can pay my bills, I can buy my own house, I need to rescue myself before I can think of going into a situation where I'm looking for somebody to rescue me. Rescue you from what? Anyway, but that's just what I wrote. And so just explored different things without going into anything. Looked at things that I wanted to start. So on this page, blog, wanted to start to blog. I think I started blogging in 2010, and this was just messing about. So let me see where we start. Again, just favourite song, Blackbird Singing in the Dead of the Night. Blackbird singing in the dead of the night, take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to arise. I first heard that song with Bobby McFerrin, and then I think the Beatles did one, and then there was another version of that song, and I expressed it on the page. It's never too late to turn your life around, and this was how I expressed it. And these pages were about me delving in. So much to say, let your voice be heard, and I used this particular image and encased it with journaling. Uncover the beauty within, let your light shine. So this was about me rescuing myself. And what does it say? To be by the sea and feel the waves beneath my feet, the soft inviting breeze that brushes against my skin, the trees sway as it dances to them melodic sounds, bird songs, caresses and delights my ear. My senses are washed with exotic blooms and the promises of a revived life, as if the delicious coconut water. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. That last bit, you are my sunshine, that was one of my favourite, one of my mum's favourite songs. And I was looking after her at the time. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are grey. You never know, dear, how much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away. So when I started Mika's course, I think this was one of the first pages, and one of the scriptures was, you know, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And so for each scripture that we were given, I created a journal page around that. And we went through them. I kind of prepared my page. This was Psalm 91. And it was a really, really blessed time for me, just kind of creating. It wasn't that it had to look wonderful or anything. I could practice different techniques, but I could also spend time in God's word and express how I felt on the page. I also practiced lettering and just experimenting with imagery, faces. As you can see, some of the faces are different. Some of the pages were double spread, some were just, you know, one side. But I allowed the words, the scriptures to speak to me, but also then kind of wrote what they meant for me. I can do everything through God who gives me strength. And then just what the words actually would mean to me. And then for some of them, like you can see here, I created a pocket and then just wrote out different scriptures which meant something for me and that I can, you know, pick out and meditate on. Let's have a look and see what else is in here. See, a lot of the journals I'm showing you I haven't visited for quite a while, and as I said in a previous video, it's a real blessing to kind of look back. The month that I did this in was March, so I've got like the 15th of March, and then where the pages, again, you can, you know, this book because it was a journal notebook and I've used it as a, you know, to add as an art journal, that's why the pages are so thick and chunky. That's why it's like that, but I actually quite like that as well. And so I had to repair some of the pages. Again, more pockets. And these pockets, oh, and I've got some blank ones here to write some notes on. Again, so you can go back into it and I can meditate on these and look at them. These pockets are made from the toilet roll tubes. And I've just covered it with paper and attached it into the book. But what you can hear, I've got a chicken. Let me see if I can bring her. Here, come here. Come on. There we go. Her name's Charlie. And she thinks I'm her mama bird. She's growing from, we found her and she was rejected by her mum and all the other little chicks, sort of like, oh, this is an aside from the journal, but she's making so much noise down there. She's kind of exploring the studio, but all the other chicks were just kind of running away and they'd left her, and she was, it had been pouring with rain and she couldn't stand up, so I think was maybe the last to be born. And the guy was saying, oh, she's going to be, you know, some cat or something. There's cats and dogs around there where we found her. And they said that, you know, she was just going to die, basically. And I didn't have it in my heart to leave her. But she's grown since then. She's kind of developed wings. Her wings have developed. They've grown and she's practicing flying. I don't know whether I can get her to extend her wings for you. And she loves being in here. Yeah, so we're just she's kind of been adopted into the family, and she's really comfortable anyway. So let's get back to the journal. She's gonna sit here. My hands are warm, so she's kind of like found a little spot to relax in. I liked creating the pockets because it meant that I can write additional scriptures that that means something to me. And I really liked this particular journal because what I started to do was use, I started using Inktense on here, and so I was playing about with colour. I was creating my own stamps, so I was using the stamps in here as well. Really. See her feathers? She's kind of doing something where she kind of stretches, you can't peck that, stretches out her wings. And I'm going to just put her down. Stretches out her wings and they seem to, and then she kind of pecks at it and pulls. They seem to be, that's how they come out. I don't know, they're just kind of pulling out. Anyway, so I started playing about with Inktense and stamps, making my own stamps, as well as working on the scriptures and, you know, creating a page. And ooh, some of the pages, depending on what you put on them, can stick together. So that's something that you've got to be mindful of when you're creating when you're working in your journal and you're using different types of paints. So some of the pages, whilst I added the words from the different scriptures that Mika was giving us, I've only partially finished some of the imagery. And again, for me, a journal is not just, right, that's finished, I'm going to put it down now. For me, it's, I'm going to revisit this because it's a body of work that actually means something more than just, it's going to be put away now because all the pages are done. So it's something that even if I had decided to come back and do some doodling on a page, I'm still investing in that page, and that's the importance of the journal for me. I can add to the imagery that's there. I might, and I've spoken to you about this before, I can do something digitally with it, or I can, you know, create a painting out of that particular piece. So even like something like this, I like this image, and I can maybe do something with this. I think I went into another month, so I've got 31st of March there, and then the 1st, so I continued on myself, but I've got the scriptures but no imagery. So as I say, some incomplete, but I can go through it again. Lots of colour, lots of texture. And so that's this particular journal. That's this one. You know, I started just putting the words in. And again, it's something that I can come back and revisit. And there's a couple of empty pages here, as that's the end of the journal. You see, the last few pages have got stuff on it. And that's what I would do. I would go in, I would add some colour, and then it's something that I can then, it's not just a blank page. And the great thing about this journal that I really liked is that it's got a pocket. It's a pocket at the back. So I've just got some reference stuff in here that I can use as part of the collage material. So there you have it, my prayer journal, or one of them. But I really like this, and so would encourage you to find different uses. Don't just restrict yourself to one journal. Again, that was me. It was just like I had to be in one journal. It had to be one, and then you finish that one and then move on to the next. And then after a while, I was just like, I was doing so many different courses that we were making so many different journals, and I thought, actually, I can have a journal for each of the things that I do. It doesn't have to be one. I don't have to finish one particular one. I can revisit it anytime I want and add to it. And so that's what I do. So I hope you've enjoyed looking through this one with me. I hope it's inspired you in some way, and I look forward to sharing another journal with you. So do like and subscribe, do come back, do share. If there's anything you'd like to know about this particular journal, leave a comment below and I'll definitely answer it. And yeah, I hope you've been inspired and encouraged to work on yours. So see you soon.